Namaskar. I'm Dr. Sonali Naik. Today we are going to read the 19th chapter from Gajanan Vijay Granth. Before that, let us do a meditation. Sit quietly, close your eyes, take a deep breath, concentrate your attention on your Adhyay chakra. See that you are sitting on a seashore. You are very peaceful, filled with happiness. You can hear the beautiful music of the waves. A cool breeze is blowing. You are meditating upon Lord Rama. Lord Rama is standing in front of you. Seeing him, you are filled with happiness. You bow to him. He gives you his blessings, that may you remain healthy, happy, and prosperous all throughout your life. Receiving his blessing, you are filled with happiness. The protective cover of his blessing stays with you all throughout your life. Inside this protective cover, you are forever guarded, forever guided, forever loved, forever prospered. Because of this, your life is filled with enthusiasm, sweetness, and happiness. Give thanks. Open your eyes. Jai Gajanan. Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Jai to thee, who doles out joy. Jai to thy impermeable form. Let my devotion remain at your feet, with no discrimination of any sort. O Raghupati, come and bless me. Great ones like you should never be harsh. O Ananta, give me a chance to express my part. O Jagannath, don't fail me in my efforts. When Sri Maharaj was at Shegaon, a Brahmin Kashinath Khanderao Garde came to the town for his darshan. He prostrated before the Maharaj and was happy to see him as a liberated person. Kashinath's father had described him so at Kamgaon. He felt fortunate to come and see him at Shegaon. While he was thinking so, Maharaj pushed him with his elbow. With this push, Maharaj said, "Go home. Your desire is fulfilled. A postman is waiting for you at the door. He has a telegram for you to read." Kashinath was confused and couldn't comprehend the meaning of what the Maharaj said. As he had not come to ask for anything, nor could he ask Maharaj about the meaning. He bowed down to the saint with folded hands and returned to his place, Khamgaon. A postman was really waiting at the entrance with a telegram addressed to him. He read the message within an instant. It said he was promoted as Munsif and was posted at Murshid office. This made him understand the saint's elbownick. Once Maharaj went to Nagpur city on an invitation of Sri Bhutti. Nagpur was the capital of Bhosle's kingdom, but had now lost all its grandeur. This was because of losing freedom, which turned an owner into a beggar and bestowed greatness on foreigners. Elephants and horses were replaced by motors. Changing times have such an effect, and for this one, no one is to be blamed. Sri Gopal Bhutti's residence was in Sitabardi, and Maharaj was housed in a palatial building. This was like enclosing a tiger in a fortified place away from strangers. Sri Gopal Bhutti's intention was to keep Maharaj at Nagpur forever. For Shegaon people, he appeared as Akrur, taking away Sri Krishna to Mathura. Shegaon became a deserted place. They asked Hari Patil to arbitrate. "Please bring him back to Shegaon," they said. "Without him, our town looks dead. You are the head here, and he is a rich man. You giants can fight like elephants. It takes an elephant to fight an elephant, not a puny fox from the crowd." Maruti was selected to face Jambumari, and Arjuna was with Karna in the bouts. They requested her to go to Nagpur and get the saint back to Shegaon soon. In fact, the saint stayed reluctantly at Nagpur like God Sri Krishna at Hastinapur. Maharaj repeatedly asked Bhutti to let him go, but Bhutti ignored the requests, dissuading him from doing so. Though Bhutti was a pious and a decent person, he was also proud of his possessions. He called scores of people to dine with the saint and participate in devotional songs throughout the day. But he did not allow Shegaon people to visit Maharaj. Guests who came to take him were brought back. Now it was Hari Patil's turn. The great devotee boarded the train, along with some selected friends, on his journey to Nagpur city to bring back the beloved saint. Simultaneously, Maharaj at Nagpur said, "Oh Gopal, let me go away from here before Hari Patil reaches Nagpur. All peace here will be lost soon. You do possess a lot of wealth, but he has executive power and strength. Hari arrived at Nagpur and entered Bhutti's house by force, pushing away watchmen at the gate of courts. At this time, a big feast was in the offing, with many Brahmins squatting on sesame plank seats. With silver plates and bowls and good food to eat, Maharaj was sitting in the corner center on a decorated seat. Such was Bhutti's wealthy decor. He was called Kuber of Nagpur. Maharaj rushed to the door when he saw Hari Patil, like a cow running to a calf after a long parting. He said, "Oh Hari, let us go back to Shegaon. I don't want to stay here any longer. It is good that you have come." So saying, he started walking out of there. Gopal rushed forward and caught his feet, saying, "Maharaj, don't go before you eat. Kindly oblige me by taking your meals. Then you may go wherever you like." Then he said to Hari Patil, "Please give him this pause. Please give this a pause. Join us in taking prasad with Sri Maharaj. I understand he wants to go back at all costs. I request you to save my prestige in front of the Brahmins. If Maharaj does not eat any food, they will also leave. It will be a matter of shame for me, so please join the feast before you go." Hari Patil agreed to this. Maharaj and devotees took their meals. A lot of people gathered to take the saint's darshan. Janika Bai, wife of Gopal Bhutti, goddess of the household, was a very pious lady. She bowed to Maharaj's feet and said her wish remained unfulfilled. Maharaj understood what she said and applied kumku on her forehead. He blessed, "You will get one more son who will be very victorious. You will attain salvation during the time of your husband." Saying thus, Maharaj left for Raghuji Raje Bhosle's palace. Raghuji Raje was pious and noble. He was a person most liberal and an ardent devotee of Sri Ram. His assets were blessings of Maharaj, though he had lost his kingdom at large. Then he went to Ramtek after taking darshan of Sri Ram. With Hari, he returned to Shega. Swami Sri Ranganath, a great saint of Dhar Kalyan, came to meet Gajanan Maharaj. They exchanged notes in their own way, not decipherable in a simple way. Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati, born at Mangaon, came to visit Saint at Shega. He lived on the banks of Krishna river and believed in ritualistic form of prayer. When he was to come to Shega, Maharaj called Badababu and said, "One of my brothers is coming tomorrow. Be sure he is properly respected. He is very orthodox. See that the premises are clean. No dirty pieces of cloth should be seen. If he sees any, he'll be annoyed like Jamdagni. That Karada Brahmin is always clean. He is learned man of discipline. He will never compromise on the right procedure of religious rites." So said Maharaj a day previous to the visit. Swami arrived at Shega at the right minute. They looked at each other and smiled. Both appeared immensely happy. One was a believer in karma, the other was in yoga. One was like sweet jasmine fragrance, the other was of rose sublime. One was like the sacred Ganges, the other like Godavari river of sages. One was the incarnation of Shiva, the other Vishnu resting out on the king of serpents. When Swamiji came into the chamber, Maharaj was sitting on his cot, snapping his thumb with fingers. The snapping stopped when he arrived. Two saints looked at each other, then Swami sought permission to depart from there. Baba was surprised. He desired his doubts to be clarified. He said, "You two have different ways, yet you call him his brother. Your brother." It is strange. Maharaj appreciated Bala's question. There are three paths to reach the omniscient. They all take you to the same destination, the final point of self-realization. They appear different and confuse the onlooker. Karma Marga emphasizes on cleanliness and silken wear, sacredness of human touch, and worship thrice a day, fasting and rituals in a disciplined way. One who goes this way is a real orthodox. Any omission deprives him of the karma marga. He has got to be careful on his course. He shouldn't hurt others even by his words. Bhakti marga, stress is on devotional prayer. Here the mind has to be crystal clear. Even a shadow of an unclean thought will deprive the person of what is sought. Compassion, love, and modesty must rule the heart of the devotee. He must have faith in scriptures and worship and continuously have the name of God on his lips. These are the requirements of Bhakti Marga. One who acquires them can meet God. This is the easiest way of self-realization. But practicing it is harder than the Karma Marga direction, like the sky posing an illusion of being nearer to the viewer. The spread out of Yoga Marga is bigger than these. It lies in the mind of the practitioner. A person following the Yoga Marga requires no external methods. Whatever is in the universe around can be found in his inventory. He travels the path of yoga with all these things inside. Yet he has to know the methods regularly required in the series. Asan, Rechak, Kumbhak, knowledge of Ida and Pingala veins, Dhauti and Mudra Tratak. The yogi should know of his success. Knowledge of Kundalini and Sushumna should show him the right path. This will lead him to knowledge of self, yet it has to include love for all. Any action without love is a waste. It is thus essential to preserve the love aspect on all the three self realization trails. Color of the skin, tall, short, beautiful, ugly, are just attributes of the body. They have no effect on the soul. Everyone looks different but has a soul in the same mold. The same thing can be said of the three paths. They look different but have the same target. This disparity is totally forgotten when they finally attain their object. The path one follows is important to him. Those who fail brag about superiority of their trail. Those who succeed become saints. Once they reach such a spot, they merge in as one as the supreme thought. Vaishishta, Vamdev, Jamdagni, Atri Parashar, Shandilya Muni traveled the Karma Marga with great dignity. Vyas, Narad, Kaya, Dukumar, Maruti, Shabri, Akrur, Uddhav, Sudama, Parth, and Vidur took Bhakti Marga as their round. Sri Shankaracharya, Guruvar, Machindranath Gorakh Jalandhar touched self-realization by following Yoga Marga tradition. Vashishta, Vidur, and Machindra each type got the same fruit of salvation. The tradition rolled on. Don't ever doubt it. Shripad Vallabh and Narsi Saraswati from Gangapur, Audhumbarwadi protected the Karma Marga practice. Namdev, Savtad, Jnaneshwar, Kanu, Chokha, Mahar, Damaji Pant Thanedar took Bhakti Marg, path of devotion. Sheikh Muhammad of Sri Gonda, Anandi Swami of Jalna, Surji, Anjangao, Devnath were all followers of Yoga Marga. Presently, Vasudev has Karma Marga and I go by Bhakti Marga. Like many others on the devotional train, like Dhondi Bua of Padus, Sant Nana of Sonagir, Yashwant Rao of Jalna, Khala Amma committed to Almighty, Sri Sai Baba of Shirdi, Gulab Rao with intellectual insight, Sant Adkuji of Warkhed in Chandur Taluka, Sant Jhingaji of Murha, Nagpur's Tajuddin Baba. Though their ways are different, they commanded a saintly status. We all brothers have come to the earth to show the devotees the right path to divinity. Each one will take the path of his choice and will ultimately rejoice and find salvation at the feet of the Almighty. Now, Barabhau, don't ask me further, nor tell of this dialogue to others. Let me sit here quietly under the garb of being crazy. Those who have faith in me and have my love will see the fulfillment of their desires. I don't need the others. Knowledge about the supreme reality is to be imparted to those who are eager to study and not to non-believers and the scornful. We have to be steadfast in our path to walk towards the omnipotent God. Tears rolled from Barabau's eyes when he heard the sublime advice. He was overwhelmed with love. His body shivered with extreme bliss beyond all words to describe. He bowed to the saint, bent on saving the oppressed. Amongst his other devotees was Sarubai. Once Maharaj said to her, take flour and pulses and cook day and night for the devotees. Go on feeding all those who come here. You will be dearer to God Narayan. Sarubai of Vijapur observed this routine. She is still alive in Shekhavta. One Prahlad Bhuat Joshi had an opportunity of being blessed by Maharaj but lost it unfortunately. There was one Tulsiram at Jalam near Khamga. He had an intelligent son named Atmaram. Because of his special liking for Veda scripts, he went to Kashi for further analysis. A bath in Ganges, food from alms, studying with Guru was his daily program. Today's students are different. They waste their times in entertainment. There is no chance of learning with this type of predisposition. Atmaram had his own identity. He was aware of his responsibility. On return from his studies, he went to Shegaon to pay respects to Sri Gajanan Maharaj. Atmaram had learnt the Vedas diction, but Maharaj was the son of all comprehension. He recited the script along with Atmaram and corrected him where he was wrong. It was a surprise for everyone in the assembly to see the saint recite Vedas so fluently. How can a honeybee ever be away from the source of honey? Atmaram used to come to Shegar from Jalam and offer his services to the sacred mission. So much was his devotion that after Maharaj's sojourn, Atmaram looked after his memorial. He never accepted any remuneration for his selfless devotion. On the contrary, offered a donation. He gave up his property, house, and land to the temple's trust's command. Never bothered about the amount. It is the devotion that counts. Shabri achieved the grace of Sri Ram by offering berries from the farm. Atmaram's humble donation brought him the same results. Dattatreya Kedar, Narayan Jamkar, and Dudhari Bua, who lived on milk simply, were sincere devotees of the saint only. Maruti Patwari of Murgaon, Bakre in Balapur Tehsil, had Timaji Mari in his service. Timaji's job was to guard the crops in the Patwari's field. One night, Timaji fell asleep on the heap of grains in the field. Some donkeys entered the premises and started gobbling from the heap. As Maruti was a devotee of Maharaj, the saint had to rush to the field to save the precious yield. He called Timaji to wake up from sleep. Timaji woke up to see Maharaj disappearing from the scene. He saw the donkeys and drove them away, but thought of Maruti's wrath at the break of the day. He realized that he had betrayed the boss. Nearly half of the heap was already gone. Timaji had a great sense of responsibility. There was no excuse for negligence of duty, as against these present day servants do not care for the interest of the master and are dishonest and arrogant. Timaji was not of that class. He was unhappy over the loss. He could not find reasons to excuse himself. He decided to own responsibility of the loss and beg pardon from the boss. Though in his mind he was sure that Maruti will forgive him for his behavior, he thus went to Maruti and humbly touched his feet. He said, "My sleep has put you to loss. While I slept, the donkeys consumed the half. Please come to estimate the damage and relieve me of my anxiety." Saying, Maruti said he had no time to inspect the field. He was going to Shega for his darshan routine. However, on his return, he would visit the scene. When Maruti reached Maharaj in the morning, the saint was sitting with Jagu Patil and Bada Bhamiyar. Maharaj smiled mildly and said, "I had lot of trouble last night as a devotee who had used me as a watchman at sight. You employ lazy servants and sleep comfortably. At night the donkeys devoured your grain stealthily. So I went and woke up Tiwaji. I asked him to watch the stock and came back." Maruti was quick enough to understand. He bowed down to the saint and said, "You are our sole supporter. Responsibility of a child is on the mother. Whatever we possess belongs to you. You are in control of what we do. A heap of grain is yours just for the namesake," Timaji was saying. "You control the universe from here. A mother tolerates trouble given by children. I, being a child, you rushed to Moreka to save me from incurring loss. I will go back and remove Tiwaji from service." Maharaj said, "No, no, this is not justice. He is honest and felt sorry for his lapse. Did he not come to you to report the mishap? He even suggested you go to the field to assess the loss of the yield. You told him you are coming here and you will go to the field after returning there." Maruti was overwhelmed by the limitless kindness of Sri Gajanan, the saint. No one has spoken to him of donkeys entering the field, yet he knew everything that has happened in the night by his inner vision. In Sheikh 1816, an incident occurred in Barapur city. Maharaj was sitting in the veranda of the house of Sukhlal Bansila. He was bare-bodied, 100%. Passers-by paid respect to the saint. A police constable happened to go on the street. His name was Narayana Asraji. He lost his temper looking at Maharaj, said the man was a hypocrite. He was sitting naked intentionally and this should not be tolerated. Kindly, he poured abuses on the saint. Not satisfied, he beat him with a cane. In spite of the cane marks on the body, Asraji went on hitting him badly. A shopkeeper named Hundiwala intervened and said, "It is not proper to beat a saint. You have no reason to act in this manner. God is the protector of saints on this earth. Look at the cane marks on his body and put an end to this absurdity. This way you are inviting your own death, like a sick man ignoring rules of good health. You are doing the same by hitting the pious man. It is not still late to beg pardon from Maharaj." The Havaldar said, "There is no reason for me to beg his pardon. A curse from a crow won't kill animals. This naked man on the main roadside is uttering filthy words to brand me wrong is simple injustice. The prophecy proved to be true. The Havaldar and his relatives died in a fortnight without any clue. Thus, each one has to be cautious in rating people around us to determine their credentials, hypocrites or saints, as is happened in Havaldar's case. In the district of Nagar, a small but beautiful town of Sangamner is situated on the banks of Pravara river. The famous poet named Anand Pandit came from this small town only. Man named Hari Jakhad lived there. He was a Yajurvedi Brahmin, poor and moved from place to place for survival. In his travel, he reached Shegao to have a darshan of Sri Gajanan Maharaj. He saw thousands distributing prasad, celebrating fulfillment of what they asked. With the blessings of Gajanan Maharaj looking to all that he thought, it appears I may have to go back without getting the grace I want. It is because of my bad luck. My luck stands like a rock. No vegetation ever grass grows on such a surface. I get food one day and know not the fate next day. Such has been life so far. No one will get me a bride. I am a pauper. O Swami Gajanan, abode of happiness ripe, I desire the pleasure of married life. I would like to have a virtuous wife, to have a marital bond to rejoice. As Zakde was engaged in those thoughts, Maharaj pondered in a different sort. He spat on Jacre and said, others want to get out, but this person wants to get into the mundane net. He looked at Hari Jacre and said, you will get everything you have desired, a wife and a happy married life, with children and money on your side. Now go home and enjoy your lot. Don't ever forget the Almighty God. Maharaj gave him money for marriage expenses. He lived a happy life. How can the grace of a saint go waste? Once Sri Ramchandra Govind Nimolkar with Vasudev Bendre went to Mukhana river, which runs through the hills of Sahyadri in the tehsil of Nashik at Igatpur. Puri. The woods there were lush green fruit-laden trees too bending, wild animals roaming without encumbrance. Along the river ran a small stream. It flowed through the narrow valley called Kapildhara by many. It is considered holy in countless ways. People bathe there on auspicious days. Nimondkar was a yoga scholar. He desired to extend his knowledge further. He inquired with the ascetics at the place. They all turned down his request. Disappointed by this, he folded his hands and implored God to show him the right man. Suddenly, he saw a person at Kapildhara who could teach him the ways of yoga. He had long arms reaching his knees, who appeared to be a sage indeed. This calm man with a face so calm was sitting there in meditation for long. Nimondkar prostrated before him and waited till evening for him to open his eyes. The yogi did not open eyes or not said anything. Throughout the day he didn't eat a thing. Other ascetics returned with the approach of evening. With folded hands, Nimondkar begged knowledge from the sage. The sage gave him a chart and said, this hymn has 16 words. Keep repeating them. You may learn yoga by their strength. Following yoga marg is difficult. As you know, an insect cannot circle Himalayan range, nor can a live seashell climb Meru mountain. You may try yoga by being a bachelor and keeping your mind and body cleaner. If you do it with all sincerity, you may learn some asana without difficulty. Don't ask me any more questions. Take this prasad. The sage gave him a red pebble and vanished. The same yogi met Nimondkar at Nashik by the Godavari river. He ran to the saint and caught his feet and said, you seem to be fed up with me. Last time you met, you never gave me your name or address of the place to meet. Maharaj said, the red pebble I gave you tells me a name. This is from Narmada and indicates God Ganesh. You couldn't guess it as it is hard to understand. My name is Gajanan. I am from Shiga. Come with me to the residence of Dhumar, where we will discuss about yoga in all. Thus saying, Maharaj disappeared as he talked. Nimondkar went to Dhumar's place, where he was happy to see Maharaj again. He bowed to Maharaj in his mind and told Dhumar happenings at Kapildhara and Nashik. Dhumar was happy and praised the saint, advised Nimondkar to worship the pebble every day and perform the asanas in a regular way. Tukaram Kokate of Shega faced the misfortune of losing his offspring when it was born. To Maharaj he promised a child out of those which survived. By the grace of Maharaj he got 3 children, one of which was to be given to the saint. Tukaram forgot about the promise because of his immense love for his offspring. Narayan, the eldest son, got sick one day. Medicines could not help him in any way. Tukaram remembered at this moment the promise he had made to the saint. Narayan survived and served the saint with grace, with a message to all to honor their promise. In the month of Ashad, Maharaj and Haripatil went to Pandharpur city to meet Vitthal, the Supreme Almighty, God addressed by many names as Kalpataru, Kamarnath, and all in all of saints, controller of universe and acclaimed by Vedas as protector of all, consort of Rukmini residing in saints' hearts, compassionate and kind to devotees from all parts and of all sorts. Maharaj arrived at Pandharpur and took bath in Chandrabhaga. Then he went to the temple to meet God with his prayer to Almighty was simple. O protector of all devotees, all powerful consort of Rukmini, please listen to my appeal. As per your command, I have lived in this world fulfilling desires of devotees. You know my mission is now over. I seek your permission to go away from here. I wish to stay at your feet at Vaikunt in the ensuing month of Bhadrapad. Thus saying, Maharaj folded his hands. Tears rolled from his eyes at the thought of separation from Hari, who befriended him a lot. Hari Patil asked him with folded hands, why these tears? Have I hurt you in any means? Please tell me. I am perturbed at this scene. The saint replied, you will not understand it. Even when I explain to you the reason, it requires a deeper perception. Do not harbor any tension. I can only say that our association is now coming to an end. Let us return to Shega this moment. Prosperity will always reign on you and your descendants. Celebrations of return were over. Hari Patil looked anxious, however. He told the people of what Maharaj said of his association coming to an end. In the month of Shravan, Maharaj got weak day by day. At Ganesh Chaturthi in Bhadrapad, here is what he said. Now all of you should come to the monastery for the immersion of the Ganpati. It is said in Ganesh Puran that an idol of Ganpati be made of earth on Chaturthi. After worshipping and offering sweet, it should be immersed in water next day Panchami. That day is now here, celebrated by immersing my body in water. Don't weep at all. Don't forget I'll always be here to protect and guide you forever and ever. I can never forget you. Throw away torn clothes and wear new, said Sri Krishna to Arjun in Gita on the field. To that advice I'll not now heed and change my body as other saints did. Maharaj spent Chaturthi in a happy mood with Badabhau and devotees of the neighborhood. Next day, holding Badabhau's hand, he said, don't think I've left you. Keep up the devotion. Never ever forget me. I'm here only for your information. Saying so, the great saint stopped his breath and by pranayam pulled it up his head. This was the noon of Bhadrapad Shuddha Panchami, Thursday in Sadharan Nam Samvatsar, Shake 1832. While holding up his breath, he uttered Jai Gajanan and merged himself in Supreme Brahma at Shega. His movement stopped thereafter, plunging the atmosphere in sorrow and despair. Very soon the sad news went around through the villages and towns. People gathered in a great haste. They cried, beating their chests. Gone is our living God. He is gone forever. Gone is the Savior of downtrodden and poor. Gone is our solace and comfort and happiness. Winds of time have extinguished the flame of knowledge. O Gajanan, you were our guardian. Who will offer us protection now? There was no reason to leave us so soon. All the devotees, Vishnu Sabang Katlal, Martand Patil, Tarachan, Shripat Rao Kulkarni, Hari Patil rushed to the monastery. It was the day of Rishi Panchami. All of them decided to close Maharaj's Samadhi the next morning. This was announced at the site. They decided to wait till evening for devotees to come and pay respect. They marked the fortunate ones will get darshan. This news went round to various sections. Govind Shastri Dongaonkar, a learned person, said Maharaj would keep the life flame burning till the affectionate devotees keep coming. To prove that, he said, keep some butter on his head. The lump melted with the warmth. This was the effect of Yoga Shastra acquired by Maharaj. Govind Shastri said Maharaj can live like this for a year, but it was advisable to close Samadhi after darshans are over. It was agreed by all. 1,000 devotees sang devotional songs. Devotees who lived far away from Shegao got the news in their dreams flashed by Maharaj. A huge crowd of devotees gathered at Shegao that Rishi Panchami. A chariot was decorated for his last journey. Many bhajan singers reached Shiga in big processions. Roads were cleaned and decorated with rangoli, illumination with all over to celebrate the journey. Maharaj was moved to the decorated chariot and the last journey started. It went round the town all night, preceded by musical bands on the ride. Small groups sang bhajans. Others said Jai to Sri Vitthal. Tulsi Gulal Bukka were showered on Maharaj, distributing sweets as the saint's prasad. Some from the crowd showered rupees and coins on the chariot carrying the saint. The procession moved through Shigao, reached the monastery at the dawn. He was carried to the place of Samadhi and bathed to the chanting of religious melody. Final worship was offered with rituals and honor. The gathering shouted Jai Gajanan, Jai to the God who came as man, Jai to him who bestows immense bliss, Jai to the Lord of this globe. Saying thus, the body was rested with heads to the north at the Samadhi place. Everyone washed it, saying Jai Gajanan. The pit was filled with salt, gaja, abir, and so on. Prayers were offered for 10 days. Large gatherings visited the place. Each one was offered food on those dates as prasad of the Janmaharaj saint. Innumerable devotees participated in the ritual. Greatness of a saint is really supreme. Even an emperor is insignificant before him. We hope that this retreat brings happiness to the devotees.